Coming out his podcast, just a man doing the best he can with what he got. And at the time of the recording of this podcast, the Iranian government claims that the Strait of Hormuz is once again closed. The US government says no, it's open for commercial traffic, but the Iranian government says it's closed. And I'm gonna keep 100 with you. I tend to lean more towards the Iranian government because they seem to be more truthful at this point than the US government, who's been looking like the Keystone cops running around saying the strait is open, then it's closed, and it's open, then it's closed. But at this point, this should not be a surprise to anybody. Like, the tension here should not be a surprise. And at this point, nobody should be shocked anymore. And what's painfully obvious right now is these folks ain't good at their job. They suck at running the country. They're not good at governing. They're not good at managing crisis. They're not good at running the country. Like, for years, we've heard complaints about DEI hires and unqualified people, mainly people of color, taking jobs from qualified white people. That's what we heard. But what we got now is a group of mediocre men, mostly white, who thought confidence, machismo, and swagger could replace competence, preparation, and actual expertise. These folks are not experts in their field. Pete Hepstead, if I need just a general knowledge about, hey man, what is it like being a host of a morning TV show, that's the guy I call. A conservative morning TV show, that's my guy. Not qualified for the job he's in right now. And it shows. And make no mistakes about it, man. He's gone. Pete is done in this town, buddy. There's no way after this crisis that this man can continue to keep his job. He's gone. Mark my words. Pete is out of here. He is gone. But these folks thought they could bluff their way through their jobs, and it turns out you can't. And some of this falls on voters too. Yeah, you knew who Donald Trump was. You saw the first administration. You saw COVID. You saw the chaos. And somehow you convince yourself it'll be different this time. And why is that? Huh? Like, some of y'all said because Papa Biden was too old. And some of y'all didn't like Kamala Harris. But let's stop pretending anyone honestly believes she would be worse than what we got right now. She's not. Now, we're watching one foreign policy mess after another. We're watching officials stumble through crisis, and they clearly weren't prepared for these crises. They didn't study up, they didn't do their homework, and eventually somebody is going to have to be held accountable for this. And like I said, it's going to be Pete Hegseth. And if you think this is an exaggeration, look at what CNN is reporting. Even after the administration talked about peace and stability, analysts were already pointing out that renewed tensions around the Strait of Hormuz were undermining claims of victory. And that's because you can't declare success before the situation is actually stable. That's the problem with governing by press conference. You can't declare victory before the facts match the speech. And that's kind of the MO of this administration. They try to get ahead of every headline by throwing out new headlines out there. And then you can't verify the old headlines. And before you verify the old headlines, they alter a new headline. The administration wanted a headline. They wanted a photo op. They wanted everybody celebrating another art of the deal moment. But reality doesn't care about campaign slogans, man. Reality is oil tankers. The reality is shipping lines. Reality is fuel prices. Reality is whether the global market believes a ceasefire is real. That's reality. And the reality is we don't have a clear-cut answer to any of those. And right now, military officials are still monitoring the situation because the region remains unstable. That's not exactly the picture of the crisis that's being sold, right? And while we're talking about accountability, let's stop blaming Obama and Biden for every problem under the sun, right? They're not in office right now. And that becomes the answer to everything, man. Everything is Obama or Papa Biden's fault, right? And say what you want. 10 years from now, we're going to realize that Biden was really one of the greatest presidents ever. Like the man did so much in one term. Like seriously, the only thing that's tarnishing that man's legacy is the fact he didn't know when to step down. Dead ass. Because you know what Biden and Obama did do for us? Biden even so more expanding it. EV tax credits. Yeah. And whether you like electric cars or not, the reasoning behind them was simple. It's dangerous to have your entire economy tied to a global commodity whose price can be disrupted halfway around the world. That's not ideology, man. That's basic economics. Most of our economy runs on a global commodity that we don't control in the US. The goal was to reduce American exposure to oil shocks. Because every time a conflict breaks out in the Middle East, Americans get hit at the gas pump, bruh. This has been a constant thing since I've been alive, bruh. Every time there is a conflict in the Middle East, Americans pay more at the gas pump. But people mocked it, man. They called it woke. They called it socialism. They called it a liberal conspiracy, bruh. All because he was like, hey, man, we need to reduce our dependency on oil. Here go these EV tax credits. Now, you know one thing I haven't had to do during this crisis because I have an EV? I haven't had to adjust my cost of transportation. I can better budget because I know how much it costs to fill my EV up a month. The world sneezes and everybody's fuel bill goes up. This is exactly why previous administrations pushed EV tax credits and domestic energy diversification. Right? Y'all talking about wind power? Every little bit counts, man, to reduce your dependency. Now, I would say personally, side note, I think nuclear power is going to have to be an option, especially with these data centers popping up. But we would depend too much on oil. And whether you love EVs or hate them, the logic was simple. If America depends less on a global oil checkpoint, Americans are less vulnerable every time the Strait of Hormuz becomes the center of an international crisis. That's just risk management, guys. Something this administration should have thought of before they went to war with Iran. Something you would have thought of if you was good at your job, if you actually study, if you didn't lie on your resume and think you can bluff your way through this. And this is the best example I can see of somebody lying on their resume and they're coming back to bite them. Like seriously, these folks lied on their resume, made you think that hey, they're ready for this job, and they're not. They're overwhelmed. And let me be clear: political leaders made choices. Every administration inherits challenges, but they also decide how to respond to them. Meanwhile, the relationship between the United States and Israel continues to raise serious questions, guys. If you think the relationship we have with Israel right now is a common one, then you smoking crack. Like seriously, go to Lamar and get you some rocks because this is not a normal relationship. America provides enormous diplomatic and military and financial support. Yet, there are times where it appears that Washington has less influence than Americans assume. It seems like Israel is not listening to this current administration. And that's a fair question to ask. Like, if we're spending the money and we sending money to Israel, providing weapons and offering the diplomatic cover, why does it often feel like we're reacting instead of leading? And that's what it feels like. It feels like we are reacting to what Israel does instead of actually setting the terms and leading. And those are legitimate questions that deserve answers. But here's what I know: ordinary Americans are the ones who pay the price when leaders make bad decisions. We pay at the gas pump, we pay at grocery stores, we pay through inflation, we pay through uncertainty. And if this situation continues to escalate, don't be surprised if fuel prices start moving higher over the next coming months. And when that happens, remember, this wasn't some unavoidable act of nature. There were policy choices made by people who asked to be in charge. Like, leadership isn't about slogans, man. Leadership isn't about owning the libs. Leadership isn't about posting memes. Leadership isn't about blaming the last guy for every problem. Leadership is about competence. And right now, competence is in short supply. These folks are not competent or good at their jobs. All right, guys, I'm gonna come out and say it. I may get shadow banned, I may get a call, but I'm gonna say it. Trump is dying. He's dying, man. I saw the guy at the latest press conference about the Strait of Hormuz, and it ain't gonna be too much longer, guys. And I'm speaking with a level of understanding, and I say this all the time, and I will say it again. The man looks like my father before he died. And some of y'all might be saying, oh, no, Marcus, you're not a doctor. And you're right. I'm not. I am not a doctor. But there are some things that I saw from my father that I see in Trump. And let me just point them out. I see bruises around his hands. I see swelling around the ankles. And my father suffered from heart disease, like congenital heart failure and heart disease. And I saw his blood vessels breaking down. They had to shoot this man up with IVs, and they end up putting like a pump shooting stuff all the way into his heart. And that would make his legs swollen a whole lot because of like the blood flow failures. And that's how Trump looks, man. And my father had good days and bad days. That last year, I came to spend with him before he passed away, man. Some days, man, you would think this man was gonna live forever. Like, seriously, I it got to a point, man, I thought this man was gonna live forever. Cause he pulled so many Houdinis, like just coming back, like I'm getting stronger. Until, man, that light flickered out. And that's what I see in Trump, man. This guy is not up to running the country. He's a dithering old man who seems to, once again, not a doctor, but for my layman's term, seems to be dipping in and out of consciousness and dementia and just doing whatever floats his boat. And I hope somebody's really managing this guy. I hope they have somebody handling this guy, much like they did Reagan towards the end. Because it is over, guys. This guy, I don't think he'll make it to September. I really don't. Any day now, guys. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm not wishing death upon the man, but after the midterms, this guy's gone. And if the Republicans were smart, if I was a Republican strategist, this is what I would do. And this is just me speculating, saying all this stuff about Trump. But if I was a Republican strategist, I would tell this man to step down after the midterms, assuming he makes it that long. If he makes it that long, I would tell that man, step down. You've already did it all. You've robbed the country blind. You soared up billions and billions of dollars. Your family is good. You have skirted accountability. You're not getting locked up. You did it. You won the game of life. Step down. That way you can have President J.D. Vance and Vice President Marco Rubio. That gives them 2 years to lurch towards the center, because that's what everybody's gonna do, guys. Like, make no mistakes. All these right wing guys who was MAGA, they're gonna move towards the center next year. I promise you, dog. Like clockwork, I can see it. They're gonna move to the center. Everybody gonna get amnesia, and they're gonna depend on you to get amnesia because they know the American public's memory is shorter than a mosquito dick. They know that you're not gonna think about that. So President Vance and Vice President Marco Rubio will lurch towards the center. So then maybe they'll have a good chance of keeping the White House the next presidential cycle. I don't think it's gonna win, man, because I think it's too much damage done. But if I was a political strategist, that's what I would tell them folks to do. Because MAGA is dying, man. Like MAGA is dying from their own hand because their movement was always unsustainable. Because you got a man at the top of this who was just a damn good character. Just a damn good guy to watch on TV, but you don't need the guy on TV running everything. Like seriously, it's literally the dog that caught the car. You've had Republican policies for the most part. A good, I don't even say during Obama, because Obama on paper is really just a moderate Republican policy wise. But you've had Republican policies for the last 25 years, and the country is basically broke because of them. The next administration, and even the current administration, needs to have an honest conversation with America and tell us, man, we broke. Like seriously, there's always money for war. There's always money for a renovation on a pool or a ballroom, but there's never any money for student loan forgiveness, universal health care, right? You can subsidize farmers, which, hey, I agree with, but there's never any money for you. Like we've done tax cuts so much to the point that we are all just broke. Like there is no money. So whoever the next administration is, they're gonna have to raise taxes and cut spending. It's not an either or, it's both. Like they're gonna have to do both of those, or we're gonna be Greece pretty soon. But I'm flying off the subject. My point of saying this is, man, prepare yourselves because when Daddy Trump dies, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be chaos, and it's gonna be a power vacuum, the likes of which you've never seen before. And right now, the only thing holding this cult of personality up is the figurehead. But when the figurehead goes, man, you're gonna see a lot of wannabes coming up there, and then truth is gonna hit a lot of these folks to the point they can't deny. And let's just hope you don't descend into anarchy when that happens. Just something to think about. All right, been seeing a lot of weird things on my timeline about relationships, and I hate the whole cottage industry of giving advice to people online. I feel like it's a scam, and most of the advice we get isn't universal. There's more than one way to do relationships these days, and anybody who's saying they got the answer, I don't believe you. Right? You're looking for a traditional way of doing things in a non-traditional world, you're always going to fail. But one of the big topics is the problem with modern dating for men and how to combat the male loneliness epidemic. And I'm just going to say this right now. The problem with modern dating is men. It's men. Men are the problem. Everybody wants to blame women for modern dating. The internet is full of podcasts, influencers, and self-proclaimed love gurus, experts telling men that women are the problem. Women are too picky. Women only want money. Women only want the top 1%. Woman this, woman that, women blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't buy it, bro. I don't. And before you dudes get mad and call me a simp, and before you women jump up and down and be like, yeah, that's right, hear me out. The patriarchy is a real thing, and the patriarchy hurts men just as much as it hurts women. Men did not have to put in effort in the past because it was pretty obvious you were gonna get a woman if you had some kind of means. But we've been tearing down the patriarchy little by little. But historically, as a man, you always had to go courting. And courting took a level of effort. And the truth is, too many men have stopped doing the work that dating has always required. It always took effort to be with a woman. I say this a million times, and I keep saying this. Marriage was not traditionally about love, it was a business relationship, and you had to have means or some way of taking care of that woman. Like my little brother and I talk about this all the time. I tell him, Getting a date was never supposed to be easy. Meeting women takes effort. Building relationships take effort, and rejection is part of the process. Something the wise Nolan Johnson, God rest his soul, always instilled and told me, and I tell my little brothers all the time, you might as well ask her for a date because the worst you can say is no. No, and no is okay. Very few men in history can simply walk into a room and have every woman gravitate towards them. Only few guys. Like most of us have always had to put ourselves out there. Like we've always had to start the conversation. We've always had to risk hearing no, and that's okay. No is okay. The issue is that a lot of young men today have been convinced that rejection itself is unfair, and that's just stupid. You're not entitled to anything. You're not entitled to pussy. Like somewhere along the line, too many men stop seeing women as human beings and start seeing them as rewards or something they're supposed to receive just for existing. Like they think just because I'm a man, you're a woman, and that entitles me to be with you, and that is stupid. If you humanize women, talking to them becomes easier because they just people. Like women are just people, dog. So if you humanize that woman and approach her like a person, dog, it takes a little level of pressure out there. And I tell myself that all the time. Man, I use the famous line, women are people. And I tell myself that all the damn time. So I don't go into a conversation with a woman expecting anything. And that's kind of a sad, piss poor way of looking at life, too. If the only time you can talk to a woman is expecting some kind of sexual gratitude or relationship, bruh, you just a piss poor ass dude. Like, seriously, be better. Women are people. People with hopes, fears, insecurities, strengths, flaws, and preferences. And just like you have a preference, they have a preference. Let me tell y'all a story, man. I never forget I was in the army and I was going through kind of a hard breakup. And my sergeant, Sergeant Fisk, at the time, he looked at me and said, Johnson, what's wrong? And I told him what was going on. And he said, Johnson, you know what type of man women like? I was like, nah, Sarge, what kind of man do women like? And he said, all of them. It is true, man. Women like fat dudes, skinny dudes, bald dudes, dudes with afros, short dude, tall dudes, bruh. Like women have preferences just like we have preferences. I am 5'7.5", 5'8" on a good day. And not once have I ever used my height as a reason why I couldn't date. Not once, bruh. Not once. I've never used, oh man, I'm too short to get a woman. Never. A woman saying no isn't an attack on your manhood, bro. It's just no. It's like seriously, it's just no. The problem is we've got a whole industry of influencers making money off of male insecurity. Like those fresh and fit losers, man. Myron Gaines punk ass. Like, dog. They tell lonely men exactly what they want to hear. They tell them that every failure is somebody else's fault. It's feminism's fault. It's the woman's fault. It's society. It's dating apps. It's everybody except the man in the mirror. But accountability doesn't get clicks. And that's probably why this video won't take off. Because anger gets clicks. Division gets clicks. Victimhood gets clicks. The truth is a lot of men need to get outside, man. Seriously, they need to get outside. They need to get away from these screens. Get away from this podcast. I know it's a little ironic. I'm telling you to get away from a podcast while I'm talking on a podcast right now, man. But get a hobby, man. You need hobbies. You need friendship. You need a community. Like you need to learn how to talk to people face to face again. Like technology has given us more ways to communicate than any generation in history. Yet people feel more disconnected than ever. Like we've mistaken connection for access. Like people have way too much access in our lives. That's not connection. My homie was telling me, like, why would I go to a My high school reunion, I see you guys on Facebook all the damn time. Like the high school reunion was a place that we come talk about what we've done in the last 10 years, how you progress, look at how we've aged in careers, but you don't need it no more because you see it every day on Facebook. Seriously. Like we've got endless texts, endless posts, endless notifications, but not enough meaningful relationships. A dating app isn't real life. Like social media isn't real life. Real life is awkward. Real life is uncomfortable. Real life requires vulnerability. Like you might stumble, you might get rejected, you might embarrass yourself. I've done it many of times. And the reply to that is good, man. That's good. I want you to get embarrassed. I want you to get rejected. You need to stumble. Like that's how human beings grow. Like I'm an introvert myself. Like people laugh when I say that because I'm comfortable speaking publicly and I got this podcast, I DJ, I've acted, but yeah, at my core, I'm an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert, but I'm an introvert. Like what they don't see is I still have to push myself. Like my social skills are a muscle. I work on those. If I don't use them, they weaken. And loneliness is becoming one of the biggest issues facing men today. As we close out Men Mental Health Awareness Month, man, we need to have an honest conversation about that. Like loneliness doesn't just hurt feelings, it affects our mental health, it affects our relationships, it affects communities. It can contribute to depression, substance abuse, self harm, and in some cases, violence, man, all from loneliness. The overwhelming majority of violent crime offenders are men. The overwhelming majority of mass shooters are men. Researchers studying mass shooters repeatedly identify social isolation, hopelessness, resentment, and lack of a meaningful connection as a reoccurring theme. Like that doesn't mean lonely men become violent. Most never do. But it does mean loneliness isn't a joke. It's a public health issue. And the answer isn't blaming women. The answer isn't becoming more bitter. The answer isn't finding another influencer to tell you the world owes you something. The answer is connection, man. We got to build friendships. Go outside. Like, go outside, join an organization, volunteer, like, get involved in your community, go to church, learn to talk to people, learn to accept rejection, learn emotional intelligence. I know that's a buzzword, but you need to learn it. And if you're struggling mentally, go get help. Therapy is not weakness. Vulnerability is not weakness. As men, many of us were taught to suppress our emotions. We're told to tough it out, like never cry, never open up, don't be a bitch. That mindset can help you survive hard times, man. Like seriously, it gives you a competitive balance at work and you learn to power through, but it also can leave you emotionally isolated when you need support the most. Like the same emotional skills we were told to ignore as boys are often the exact skills we need as men. Compassion, empathy, communication, self awareness. The goal isn't to become less masculine, and the goal is to become a healthier man, right? I'm not telling you to be like a spigot and cry everywhere you go. I'm not saying that. But you gotta realize when you need help. So if you're struggling with loneliness, like don't suffer in silence. Reach out. Like talk to somebody. I have a community of men that I just talk to and I call just to ask how they doing. I don't want anything like, bro, how are you doing? Are you okay? What's going on? And likewise for me, they do the same thing for me. Like, yo, brother, are you okay? How's your day going? Like, do you have that? And if you're having thoughts of self-harm or suicide, man, call or text 988. That's the suicide crisis lifeline. It matters, man. It matters. So the solution for modern dating isn't making women smaller, man, or asking, what about women? What are women gonna do? I'm talking about men right now, dog. I'm talking to men. It's like it's helping men become bigger, more confident, more emotionally healthy, more connected, and more willing to take chances on other human beings, man. Because no risk, no reward. Go out there, dog.